Everyone, and welcome to this little video on the difference between objective and subjective empathy and how you can enhance empathy in yourself in general, in all relationships, and especially as a parent. But really, this little talk is for everyone. So, when we I think I'll start saying a little bit about how we enhance empathy in general, and then I'll get to my distinction between objective and subjective empathy. So, when we start working on our own inner life and inhabit more and more rooms within ourselves, when we learn how to love who we are, we also get a feeling of love and empathy for ourselves. So, with a low level of self love, there will be different rooms within my system that I'm not fond of, that I'm not proud of, that I think cannot be shown in the world. There will be more inner judgment and talking myself down. And so when we learn to love who we are, we start inhabiting all the rooms within us. We start having empathy and compassion for everything within us. So we really see and love and heal all our inner parts. And as I do that, my triggers and the judgments that I have upon others will also start dissolving. So what we cannot hold or have empathy for in others, or what we even actually judge in others, is always a mirror of our relationship to ourselves. And depending on your Enneagram type, your personality type, there will be specific themes in the judgment, in the inner critic. I'll get back to that in another video. But just to say that as I work with coming home to myself, becoming present with myself, meeting my inner parts, healing my inner child, loving, starting to love, like just really who I am, and begin to trust myself in the world, and have empathy for myself, for my inner child, that will be shown in a direct mirror in my relationships. So when I start inhabiting all the rooms within me, even the rooms that as a child I thought I couldn't show the world. So a room that you might have shut down could be an anger room. It could be a deep sorrow. It could be like being too much, taking up too much space. Yeah. So all the different judgments that we make on ourselves, when they start dissolving and healing within us, we also start being able to go to the same places with other people. So if I have shut down something within me, so if I have shut down my ability and permission to be fully in the world as who I am and take up the place in the world that I'm supposed to fill up, if I've shut that down and I'm playing small and I am diminishing myself and I'm not speaking my truth or putting myself into character or into the world, then when I see someone who does that, I might either admire them and think, I wish I could be like that. That would be what we call a white shadow, a light shadow, or I would judge them for being too much. And either way, usually it would be a judgment, but either way, when we start becoming whole human beings, so when you enter this room, this is just an example of one room, then the triggers of other people showing you this kind of being in the world are just gonna disappear. And so when other people go through difficult stuff, to get back to the empathy, what usually happens is, especially in close relationships, and very especially with our children, is that our trauma, our wounds, everything that we carry within us is activated. And so let's take an example. So your child will come home from school and tell you that he or she's been bullied or left out of a play or something like that. And immediately your system remembers the times in your childhood when you were rejected or felt bullied. And you might not know this is going on. You might not be aware that this is going on, but your system will react with either sorrow or fear or shame or guilt. And we usually think that this is activated in us because of the story that our children bring to us, whilst really the activation is just an activation of something that's already in my system. So if I didn't have any experience with being left out in a group, or if it had been completely healed in me, I would still feel for my child. I would feel empathy for the sorrow they have to go through. But I would not, my system wouldn't be activated. I would just be able to sit with them and be calm and present and trusting that this will work out, that they will get through it, that all will be well. And so very few, especially parents, but this is a problem in all relationships, are able to do that. And we so often just push it away by saying that it's because it's my children. I love them so much. I get so upset or so angry or so sad when something happens to them. And it's true and not true. You know, the part that's true is, of course, we feel for our children and we feel for what they go through and the stones on their way that they have to learn from. We do feel for that, like we would feel for anyone going through hardship in life. But the level of emotion triggered in the system is not just what they are going through. It's because they are triggering our trauma, our wounds. And we don't know it. We usually don't know it. We usually don't even understand what's going on. And we just, sort of push it aside by explaining to ourselves that this is natural. It's because you're a mother or a father. And other people would say the same to you. That's what it's like to be a parent. You'll always be a parent. You will always worry. You will always this and that. And it's not true. It's because we come from the activated trauma place within us, and because we are ourselves aligned with our parts, our psychology, and not ourselves. And it's really an amazing opportunity to heal something within you. So also what happens in the relationship is that if I meet my child or friend or partner, whatever, with this kind of subjective empathy, so my system is activated. I might not know it, I might not say anything about it, but as everything is energy and we do feel energy and each other's energy, this is in my system, it's in the energy, and it will be perceived by the other. And what happens for a lot of children and young people is that they sense that in our system. and they sense the overload, and they sense the worry and the fear and the the activated emotional system within us. And unconsciously, a lot of children or young people start to pull back and start to be very conscious of what they share with us, because it doesn't feel like there is a holding container for what they are going through. And really, there isn't. Because when my container is filled up with my emotional states and old wounds and trauma, that's what it's filled of. And I'm not then able to come from a place of calm and trust and this holding, loving space, which is really what our true essence is. And so I just wanted to invite you into being aware of next time your system is activated by something your child or anyone shares with you, and ask yourself, what is this about for me? Go away from the situation, um, and close your eyes and go into your system and get curious and present with yourself, and ask the parts that are activated if they want to share with you what is going on. And so by listening to the parts activated, like so in this example, there might be an 8-year-old who was left out in a group in school and felt completely shameful and scared and all of that. And you can actually go back to this 8-year-old as the adult divine self that you are today, and sit with the 8-year-old and just hold her or him, and help those old wounds and emotions heal. And you can do that as many times as it takes until you have a sense that the work has been done. And you'll know, because your part knows itself, so it will let you know. You don't have to worry, when is it done? You just have to ask the part and sense into it. And so when you've done this work, then you are able to listen to and hold space in a completely different, objective way. So you will still have your heart open and tender and loving and warm, and it will also be calm and secure and trusting, and your nervous system will not be overactivated. And the great gifts, and that's just one example of how conscious parenting or conscious relationships in general are like really holy healing relationships. Because what happens is you get to heal something within you. You get to love and help parts that are stuck in your system. You get to help them grow up and heal, really, which is amazing, because that will make you become a more whole, soul-centered human being. And the great benefit in your relationship is that you will actually become a holding container for the hardship or whatever people around you go through. So just to say that we shouldn't wish that our system is not activated. It will be activated if there is something there to be activated. But if you feel anything other than objective empathy, calm, trust, strength within you, you could try this system. You could try to look within and see what calls for healing within you. And so sometimes we wish our children wouldn't go through, or other relations wouldn't go through difficult stuff, because it activates our own difficult stuff. And really, the most amazing place to be in is to just let life happen as it happens, and to trust that whatever happens has an underlying loving, healing intention, and that this is what this situation brings to you, an opportunity to heal. And we might remind ourselves that everything is either love or call for love. And so anything in our system that doesn't just feel like love and peace and calm and trusting is a call for love. And our children will, over any other relationships and partnerships maybe, they will trigger everything within us that's not been healed. And they actually really come to us as these healing angels with invitations to heal our system so that we can live soul-centered lives and allow them to do the same. So this is my little talk to you on objective and subjective empathy. I hope it makes sense. I hope you have a sense of how you can try this out on your own. And I can tell you from my own life that I know it works. When I became a mother, this was the journey I started on. To every time I felt something was triggered within me, I remembered very distinctly the first time something was triggered and I knew I was being triggered was when my daughter was 2 years old, and she had this tantrum because I tried to help her with the shoe and she wanted to do it herself, and she just went on and on and on, crying and screaming and yelling at me, and I felt this room within me wanting to shut her down, wanting to make her wrong for being so emotional. And I knew right away, this is my stuff. This is my room. If I'm not careful, I'll make her wrong for being who she is and expressing her emotions, because there is a room in me where this is not allowed. So I started working on that room and many other rooms. And so I know this works. Yeah. Thank you for being here. And please, if you try this out, feel free to let me know. Yeah. Much love from Denmark to you, wherever you are in the world. We are actually all this one family on the same journey through this human life. And I really believe that as we come together and share experiences, we help each other home to our divine selves. So please enjoy this invitation for an exercise. Thank you.